is my pretty girl bag. Pretty girl bag.
Check it, I'm a little hottie, but my name ain't Judy. And I ain't clear, so you can't see through.
He like that, I love that. Sit back and let it ride. And I'm like, oh. I do what I please, like.
I'm the one, but not the one to play with. One of one to
You was up, don't know what you do to me. Got me go.
Boy, stop playing with my heart. We could.
Where the boys at, where the boys at, boys at?
Girl, want no swag in that room. All off in the store, they know what I want. Want everything, I don't care what it costs. The hat, the scarf, the shirt.
When you say you could, I'ma go hit these streets. Need a t-shirt all by my.
Let it ride. And I'm like, oh.
If you miss me while my phone don't ever ring. Let me breathe. You know I don't do that, I do what I please.
Gucci this, Gucci that. Gucci everything. Gucci everything.
Where the boys at, where the boys at, boys at? Where the boys at, where the boys?
They had everything a girl group could dream of. Music royalty for parents, a built-in reality TV platform, and even Beyoncé herself rooting for them. The OMG Girlz weren't just a group, they were a moment. Neon wigs, bold lyrics, and teen girl energy wrapped in bubblegum beats. For a second, it really felt like they could be the next Destiny's Child. But then, silence. No debut album, no farewell tour, just a Twitter announcement and a fade into solo obscurity. So what happened? Was it label politics? Was it internal drama? Or was the industry never ready to take a teen black girl group seriously, no matter how much talent they had? Because here's the thing, the OMG Girlz didn't fall off. They were pushed. And their story? It's way deeper than just a few catchy singles. This is the rise, fall, reinvention, and unfinished legacy of the OMG Girlz. And it might just change the way you look at the music industry forever. Before they were the OMG Girlz, they were just a group of talented kids hanging around music legends. Tamika Tiny Harris, yes, the same Tiny from the iconic 90s R&B group Xscape, was the mastermind behind the idea. But this wasn't some big corporate plan. It started as a passion project, sparked by her daughter Zonnique's love of singing with her best friend. And when you're married to T.I. and your daughter's bestie happens to be Regina Carter, Lil Wayne's daughter, you don't exactly need to hold auditions. You just form a supergroup in your living room. They named themselves OMG, short for Officially Misguided, with 2 S's to stand for Miss. The whole vibe? Cute, rebellious, and here to lead other girls in the right direction. Ironically, the name would hit a little too close to home later on. The early lineup felt like a tween dream team, Zonnique as Star, Regina as Baby Carter, and their friend Lourdes Rodriguez, nicknamed Lolo. Beads, bright colors, bubblegum pop, they had personality for days and instantly got people talking. But let's be real, people weren't just watching for the music. With Tiny, T.I., and Lil Wayne behind them, the OMG Girlz were born into a spotlight most artists grind for years to reach. And it worked, at first. Their 2010 debut single, Ain't Nobody, made a splash, especially with fans of The Family Hustle, where the girls were already getting screen time. But just as quickly as things were heating up, the cracks started to show. One member down, then another, and before they could even release an album, the OMG Girlz were already facing an identity crisis. You'd think having famous parents would make everything easier. But for the OMG Girlz, it turned into their first major obstacle. Regina Carter was the first to dip, and fast. Her mom, Toya, thought she was too young for the spotlight. And her dad, Lil Wayne, he had his own empire, Young Money, and was ready to mold his daughter into a solo act. So, with a few conversations behind closed doors, Regina left the group and never really looked back. She dabbled in music here and there, releasing a single called Mind Going Crazy. But honestly, she was more into school and reality TV than the studio. Then, it happened again. Lolo left too. Just as the group was starting to pick up buzz, two of the original members were gone. The dream team shattered. And suddenly, what started as a group of tight-knit friends began to feel more like a revolving door. Tiny didn't waste time. She started searching for a replacement, someone who could keep up. And that's when Brianna Womack, aka Babydoll, entered the picture. The craziest part? She got in through YouTube. Her uncle, who happened to be a bodyguard for the group, showed her dancing video to Tiny. At first, he didn't even say it was his niece. But once she impressed them, oh, now he was proud. She got the call and moved to Atlanta. Just like that, the OMG Girlz had a new lineup. By 2011, the official trio was in place. Zonnique as star, Bahja Rodriguez as beauty, and Brianna as Babydoll. And with the new roster locked in, they were finally ready to go from being the daughters of legends to becoming stars in their own right. But the pressure? Only just getting started. With Star, Beauty, and Babydoll officially in formation, the OMG Girlz finally found their rhythm, and it showed. They signed to Interscope Records through Tiny and T.I.'s Pretty Hustle imprint, a major label co-sign that had the industry watching. And this time, they came with bangers. Gucci. This Gucci. That was a sassy, confident anthem that had girls quoting lyrics in mirror selfies. Then came Where the Boys At, a sugary pop bebop that became their unofficial summer anthem. And let's just say, the looks were loud. Neon hair, Harajuku-inspired fashion, sparkly lip gloss. They weren't just a girl group, they were a movement. A new generation of black girlhood, unapologetically bold and undeniably fun. Their fan base exploded. Tours with Mindless Behavior, Diggy Simmons, and Jacob Lattimore made them the first black girl group in years to really break through. They even made history as the first female group to ever perform on the Scream Tour, which had previously only featured male acts like Bow Wow. And despite the nerves, the OMG Girlz held their own, sometimes even outshining the boys they opened for. But the real cosign came from Beyoncé. After seeing a video, the girls made listing reasons why she was a baddie. Beyoncé not only responded, she named her Instagram Betty B, inspired by them. Let that sink in. Beyoncé took her first IG handle from a group of teen girls who hadn't even dropped an album yet. That's how real their impact was. For a moment, it felt like nothing could stop them. But behind the scenes, the clock was ticking, and the industry had already started losing patience. The OMG Girlz weren't just a group, they were a whole aesthetic. At a time when girl groups were practically extinct, they stepped in with bold colors, catchy hooks, and a vibe that felt made for the Tumblr era. They were loud, girly, stylish, and unapologetically themselves, and Gen Z ate it up. They weren't trying to be Destiny's Child too. They were here to be them. Their style, a mix of Harajuku, hood glam, and teenage rebellion, started showing up in school hallways, birthday parties, and fan art all over the internet. The pink hair, the oversized bows, the chunky accessories, that was all OMG coded. And the music wasn't just cute, it hit. Tracks like Gucci, This, Where the Boys At, and Bad E were confidence boosters disguised as bubblegum pop. They had girls feeling themselves, even if the lyrics were light. And the timing couldn't have been better. There was a serious drought in the girl group lane. Danity Kane had fallen apart. TLC was done. Fifth Harmony hadn't popped yet. Destiny's Child was history. So when the OMG Girlz showed up, it felt fresh. It felt necessary. And with Mindless Behavior rising alongside them, it looked like a real R&B-pop youth wave was coming. These two groups, touring together, vibing off each other's fan bases, became the face of young black pop at a time when the industry barely knew what to do with that. But that level of attention comes with a price. Because while the OMG Girlz were inspiring a generation, they were also starting to face some serious backlash, and not just from strangers. For every OMG Girlz stan lighting up Twitter, there was a hater right behind them. It started subtle, a few comments here and there comparing their vocals, questioning their talent. But as their popularity grew, so did the criticism. And a lot of it wasn't even about the music. Some fans, especially from the Mindless Behavior camp, saw the OMG Girlz as the girlfriends, not the main event. And once people started shipping members of the two groups, the fangirl drama hit maximum chaos. Suddenly, it wasn't about catchy songs or cute outfits. It was about who was cuter, who deserved the fame, who couldn't really sing. And the industry wasn't much better. The group constantly had to prove they were more than just celebrity kids with good PR. Nepotism was the elephant in the room, and while their famous last names opened doors, it also made people wonder if they actually earned their success. Star, Beauty, and Babydoll had to fight twice as hard to be taken seriously. Every performance was a test. Every outfit was scrutinized. And every misstep, no matter how small, got magnified online. And let's be honest, the music industry has never known what to do with young Black girl groups. Not really. There's this weird double standard. Be polished, but relatable. Sexy, but innocent. Bold, but not too bold. The OMG Girlz walked that tightrope every single day. And even though their fan base was loyal, cracks were starting to form. Between label pressure, online hate, and the struggle to evolve with a maturing audience, the girls were heading straight into a storm, and most people didn't even see it coming. Here's the crazy part. Despite all the buzz, all the hits, and all the fans, the OMG Girlz never dropped an official album, not even an EP. And that wasn't by choice. Behind the scenes, Interscope Records, the same label that signed them with so much promise, started putting up walls. The label reportedly kept rejecting songs, shelving projects, and dragging their feet on greenlighting anything long-term. Imagine building all this momentum, touring across the country, inspiring Beyoncé, and still being told, "Not yet," every time you try to drop a body of work. The girls kept releasing singles, Boy It's Over, Loverboy, Baddie, but without a full project to anchor their sound, it was like shouting into the void. No rollout, no push, just vibes. And fans were starting to notice. And that inactivity, it's a killer. Their audience was growing up. Tastes were shifting. The colorful, cutesy style that made the OMG Girlz iconic started feeling a little too junior for fans who were now in high school, dealing with heartbreak and real-life drama. The girls wanted to mature their image and sound, and they were ready. Songs like Loverboy hinted at a deeper, more grown-up direction, but the label wasn't biting. So they sat, stuck, watching the moment pass them by in real time. It wasn't just frustrating. It was heartbreaking. They had the talent. They had the look. They had the fans. What they didn't have? The freedom to actually grow. And just when they needed a big break the most, everything around them started falling apart. If the OMG Girlz were the queens of teen pop R&B, Mindless Behavior were the kings. The two groups were constantly linked. Same tours, same fans, same audience. So when one started crumbling, the other felt it too. It all started in 2013, when Mindless Behavior's frontman Prodigy suddenly quit. At first, it seemed like a typical pursuing a solo career situation, but then the truth came out. He wasn't just tired, he was miserable. Mistreated by management, isolated by the group, called names by adults in the camp, and he was only 14 or 15 years old. Prodigy opened up years later, revealing how depressed and dehumanized he felt. And suddenly, fans saw the glossy world of teen stardom in a very different light. Then, Rock Royal was fired. Why? His image was too reckless. He became a teen dad, got into legal trouble, and eventually served 2 years in prison for robbery and battery. By the time Ray Ray left to go solo, the group was barely recognizable. Just one original member, Princeton, was left, and the fans checked out. Here's why this matters. The OMG Girlz were marketed right alongside Mindless Behavior. They shared managers, tour slots, fan bases, even label connections. So when Mindless Behavior collapsed, it was like watching their ecosystem implode. The same people helping the OMG Girlz get meetings, exposure, and radio play were now scrambling to clean up that mess. And once the labels saw that their biggest teen act had flopped, they got skittish. Suddenly, investing in another youth group, even one with promise, felt risky. And guess who paid the price? The OMG Girlz weren't involved in the drama, but they still took the hit. Fewer resources, less buzz, more waiting around. It's wild to think about. They survived the criticism, the lineup changes, even the label delays. But in the end, it was someone else's downfall that helped trigger their own. There was no big blow-up, no dramatic press release, just a quiet tweet in 2015. The OMG Girlz were officially done. After everything, the tours, the label deal, the Beyoncé co-sign, the group that once had Next just faded out. No final single, no farewell performance, no album to leave behind. And when fans asked why, there wasn't really an answer. Zonnique, star, later admitted that even she didn't fully understand it. Everyone was just in a different headspace. The group had outgrown itself, and no one wanted to force it. But here's the part that stings. They still had so much potential left. And instead of getting to evolve together, the members were left to figure it out on their own. Brianna, Babydoll, rebranded as Brie and dropped a few singles like Only in America and Selfish, plus a freestyle that showed she still had something to say. But her releases were scattered, more passion project than major rollout. Bahja, Beauty, went all in. She dropped singles like Jealous Type and Lipstick, plus full projects like Love Take 3 and The Coldest Winter. The talent was there. The hunger was definitely there. But she opened up about how hard it is to get support, even from people she thought would show up for her. She said something a lot of independent artists feel. I shouldn't have to ask. And then there's Zonnique, star, the one with the most visibility thanks to her famous family. She had the backing of Tiny and T.I., a platform from reality TV, and an official EP called Love Jones. She even got a feature from Young Thug. But even with all that, her music career didn't quite explode. It simmered. Steady, but not viral. Consistent, but not breakout. They were each trying to find their own voice in an industry that never fully let them speak in the first place. And while they never dragged each other, never threw shade, never did a tell-all, you could feel the disappointment. Not in each other, but in the way the industry gave up on something that never even got a proper chance to bloom. Just when fans thought the story was over, the OMG Girlz pulled a move nobody saw coming. In 2018, years after their quiet breakup, they reunited for a surprise performance on the Great Escape Tour, opening for Tiny's legendary group, Escape. And for one night, it was like nothing had changed. The wigs were back, the energy was back, the fans screaming. And it reminded everyone what made them special in the first place. 3 young women with chemistry, charisma, and a connection that hadn't faded, even after the industry moved on. But the reunion was short-lived. There was no new single, no rollout, just a nostalgic moment, and then silence again. Still, their legacy lingers. They might not have topped the charts or dropped an album, but the OMG Girlz mattered. They inspired a wave of young Black girls to be bold, expressive, and unapologetically themselves. They were TikTok before TikTok, a mood board before mood boards. And they did it all while navigating a music industry that's never been kind to girl groups, especially Black ones. To this day, fans still ask, why didn't they blow up? But maybe the better question is, what could they have been if they were given the space to grow? Because here's the thing, the OMG Girlz might have been officially misguided, but they were never wrong. And if they came back now, with the internet on their side, and the industry finally catching up to their aesthetic? Yeah, it could actually work. So what do you think? Would a 2025 version of the OMG Girlz eat the industry up, or has their moment already passed?